guys, so today I'm going to be doing the Q&A questions that you guys asked me. I'm going to be answering them, of course. I am outside because my house is a disaster, so if you hear noises in the background like birds and stuff, I'm sorry. Okay, so this one says, how long have you and your boyfriend been dating and how long have you had Cloud? By the way, I really love your videos. Well, firstly, thank you. Secondly, me and Tyler have been dating for almost 5 months now. July 16th will be 5 months, and then I've had Cloud ever since she was 5 weeks old, and she is 3 now, so 3 years. I thought her name was Isis. Okay, so Cloud's real name is actually Isis, spelled I-C-E-S-S, and her middle name is Cloud. But the reason that I call her Cloud now instead is because, well, I don't want to be screaming Isis down the street if she runs off, or if I'm trying to call for her at a dog park. I don't want to sit there and scream Isis because we didn't know that that was a terrorist group. So I call her Cloud instead, plus I feel like Cloud fits her a little bit way better, so there you go. When you and Cloud first started training as a service dog team, what was your favorite best training and how long did you wait before going into public and with a true vest and patches? I am training my puppy dog Ghost. He is my 22-month-old husky to be my medical alert dog, and we just started the process last month. Okay, so it was a while before I started taking Cloud into public, so it was about a few months. Officially looked up all the information about service dogs back in August of 2017. That's when Cloud officially became a service dog. By the way, there is no registration for service dogs. Learned the laws, and I started training Cloud right then and there. The law for service dogs is the ADA, which is American Disabilities Act. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that out there for people who don't know service dogs. So I looked up all that, I knew all my information. I didn't get her a vest quite yet. I started her training just to see how well her training would do. So I started her training at 3 years old, and so she started her training, and we just would go outside down my street and train there. After a few months, I saw some improvements in her. She started going into public around January of 2018, so it took about a few months. She got her first official, our first vest that was from Amazon, and she got it around January or so, or like December, somewhere around there. And I started taking her into public a little bit before she got her vest, so it had to have been in January because I took her to public twice without a vest because I know that service dogs don't need a vest according to law. So I took her in a few times just to see how she would do, and she did perfectly fine, but we went late at night, so there wasn't really much people there, so I didn't realize her stranger issues. So that answers your question. And then the vest that she has now, she got in March, so that was her official actual service dog vest. So there you go. Do you have any potato or chickens? I have both. Who's your favorite service dog team other than yourself? Obviously you, Lexi. What was the biggest struggle when getting a service dog? Okay, that's the first part of the question, so I'm going to answer that. So I think the biggest struggle is training, honestly, in service dogs. The second biggest struggle would be the public, just the general public is a big struggle because they're like, oh my god, it's a dog. They've never seen a dog before, so I'm just gonna touch it because I've never seen a dog before, apparently. What is your greatest success moment? A, with training. B, your abilities with her, something you couldn't do without her, but you are happy you can now. Okay, so what is my big success moment with training? I think my biggest success with training is training her to do interruption behaviors, which is whenever I scratch myself, she will interrupt that behavior, and whenever I'm doing heavy breathing, she will interrupt that behavior as well, which is her alerts. How fast she learned that was a big accomplishment. My abilities with her has been amazing. The fact that I'm actually able to leave my house and not have to worry about really getting to the point where I can't, getting to a bad point, that's just what I'm gonna say. So like feeling like I have more freedom, it's hard to explain, but feeling like I have more freedom, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So that's what my biggest, strangest PA problem. I've never had a PA problem before, such as I've never had a business tell me that I can't be there because of Cloud. I've had many employees come up and try to pet her, or I've had many employees come up and start talking to her. I think the strangest thing that a person has ever asked me or talked to me about in public was ask me if she was fixed because they have a boy husky or they know somebody that has a boy husky and they're looking to get puppies out of them. Was it hard to start training Cloud? Was she stubborn? Cloud is very stubborn. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Why are you working on an overstressed dog? Shouldn't you address Cloud's issues before doing public access? Well, you can't exactly address a dog's stranger issues without going into public where there is strangers. So that kind of answers your question a little bit. I have tried to address them before going into public, but listen, I don't have any public parks near where I live. I don't have any pet-friendly places where I live. And you walk down the street and you barely see anybody because everybody has cars. Nobody walks anywhere anymore. So there's literally nowhere besides going to Walmart or going to Dollar General or going to Kroger that I'm gonna find public people or strangers. So I have to go into the public to train my dog. And it's very difficult for me, trust me. I have tried to work around it. I understand what Cloud's capable of doing, and she's not I know she's never been aggressive her whole entire life. I've had her whole entire life. It's just that whenever somebody comes close to us, she will try to slowly back away. And she does like to focus on other people, but we're working on it, and she is still in training. She's only been a service dog since like January. She's only been going into public for about 4 months now. Actually, it's been 5 months now. So, I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I can't really do anything about it, and I've been trying my best to work around it and figure out what I can do with it. I mean, another thing is that I forgot to say is that yes, Cloud enjoys being a pet. She loves working, and it may not show it because she is overstressed in public, but she loves working. She loves having a purpose. Every time I throw that vest on her and we're about to get out of the house, she is right there waiting at the door. She loves to have a purpose. She loves to be helping me. Other than her stranger issues, she is a great dog. She listens. She listens very well to commands. She is a fast learner. It's very quickly to teach her to something. It just takes time, but she gets the gist of it pretty quickly. And once I get over her stranger issues, she's pretty much almost done with her service dog training. So she does generally really good, a lot more than other dogs would. And I'm not gonna just give up on her because she has a small problem that can be addressed, that can be issued with. She's fine because she has a great temperament and she's a great dog. I'm not going to give up on her. Would you recommend an e-collar for off-leash training? It doesn't hurt if used correctly, right? Yes, I do recommend an e-collar for off-leash training if it's used correctly. Now, you can't sit there and just shock the dog whenever you feel like it or whatever the dog isn't listening to you. You have to start off with a leash just to get the dog like the general idea of what the collar means. You put the dog on a long lead and you start working on come, and if they don't come, then use just a gentle correction. Half the time I use vibrate. I don't even use shock. I do recommend it, and I would look up a lot of information about that because I am not a dog trainer and I wouldn't go off basically on my word. Every dog doesn't react the same to e-collars. E-collar has been the best thing for me and Cloud, but like I said, not every dog is the same. So I would definitely look into it and watch videos on it, training videos of actual dog trainers explaining to you how to use the e-collar and all that, etc. Another odd question, but totally plausible in real life. If you are working public access and you came across another owner and dog, and there ended up being an incident between your dog and that person, minor or major. Let's say that owner took you to court and accused you of being a fake team. Why I say plausible because it's trending now to do this nowadays, and that Cloud started it or injured his dog. What proof would you show the courts to prove that your dog is in fact meet the highest standards of being a trained service dog? Because the courts are not legally bound by those two questions, the public is. How would you win this case? What evidence would you show a judge that your dog exceeds the training standards and expectations of a service dog team? That took a long time, along with a great chorus of dogs back there. This is a tough question. Okay, so I guess the main answer to this is to make sure my dog is trained to not hurt another dog. It's okay for a dog to mess up, a service dog to mess up. If a dog gets out of focus, it's okay. These dogs aren't robots. They are okay to mess up. It states even in the ADA that a dog, if the dog is acting out and the person isn't taking control of the dog, that's when the person or the business can ask the person to leave. Now, if Cloud reacted to that dog, I would obviously put effort into it and control the dog, obviously. Now, it's different if Cloud was going to react to the other dog and I wasn't going to control her. I wasn't going to put any effort in towards her. Now, my proof would be to, obviously businesses have security cams, so they would check that. That would be proof. And then on top of that, if my dog was to attack another dog in public, it would be my fault. My fault. I'm the fault for that. So I will take full responsibility for that because that is my fault. I didn't control my dog the way I was supposed to. I didn't train my dog the way I was supposed to, and I still took her into public. So I'm in fault for that, and I need to go ahead and accept the punishments that I have for that. So I hope that answers your question because that was very difficult to understand. How did you get her name idea? All right, let me just show you this. You see these? Cloud, come here. You see these dots on her head? You see these little dots on her head? They remind me of little black clouds, so that's why I named her Cloud. There you go. How do you feel about fake service dogs? Is Cloud improving on her insecurity? I feel like she is. Okay, so the first part of your question is, how do I feel about fake service dogs? Ooh. Fake service dogs need to stop because there are many issues with fake service dogs. You take your pet into the store and it's acting out, that puts a bad name on real trained service dogs. Another thing is that one of my friends, her 6-year-old little sister actually just recently got attacked by somebody taking their pet into the store, and she had to get stitches all over her arms because this person decided to take their pet into the store. There's many different situations. Maybe your dog won't attack somebody, or if you ran into a service dog team and your dog reacts to that dog and goes and attacks that dog, then that service dog is out of work and that person doesn't know what to do because that's their lifeline. Another thing is it just puts a bad name on us service dogs, and it creates problems for us trying to take our service dogs into the store, and it's just problems we don't need. So stop doing it, please. Leave your pets at home. Another thing is that the person asked was, how is her insecurity? Has it gotten better? I believe so. It's gotten a lot better. Cloud used to shake in public, like shake like a chihuahua, but she doesn't do that anymore. And before, she would get scared whenever she saw somebody that she doesn't know, but now it's just she focuses on me unless somebody comes close to us. Then that's when she reacts. She doesn't really react, but that's when she starts to slightly trying to pull away from them. She kind of gets like leans in closer to me or goes on the other side of me, which is fine. It's not that big of a deal. I just need to get her more comfortable in public. I don't blame her for wanting her personal space. I want my personal space. I don't like when people come close to me. So I don't blame her for it, but we're working on it and trying to get better with it. So what are you planning to be when you are older? I'm your biggest fan. Oh, thank you. So this is a different question, but I like it. So I'm planning to be a video editor because it's kind of what I've done my whole entire life. I've had more than one channel. This hasn't been my only channel that I've ever had. And I also want to be a photographer, so I'm going to try to major in those. Any tips for first-time public access training? So for first-time public access is, I believe, treats. Bring high-value treats, which is better than the regular treats that your dog is more driven for. Keep it short but sweet. Leave on a good note. You don't want to overwork them too long. Try to keep it at a very quieter place, like maybe you can try starting at a library just to get them used to being around many people. Or Walmart isn't too bad if you try to stay away from many people. I would try working your way up with more and more people. Don't start with a bunch of people. Just kind of start with smaller places and then work your way up with bigger places. The CG just made a video on you and even said she'd wash Cloud. If you have seen it, what's your opinion on it if you care? I don't. What is your philosophy on dog training or training service animal? My philosophy is basically patience is key, especially with huskies, but generally just any kind of dog. My motto is patience is key because I have a very low patience and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people are the same way, especially since we just kind of want our dogs to just be perfect and just go out in the world. Like, it's not how it works. So basically patience is key, I guess, if that's what you mean. Have you had any public access issues? No. Can you demonstrate how you would perform a reward marker for your dog? Could you also demonstrate your use of a duration marker and compulsion marker as well? I'm trying to understand what you mean. I'm gonna answer the best I can. I use a clicker, and I also use voice rewards. It's kind of a mix-up, so I'm not really gonna demonstrate because it's pretty straightforward. Just whenever, as soon as she does something good, I say good girl, like such as cloud focus, good girl, good job, good girl, such as like that. Or I don't have a clicker on me and I don't feel like running to go get one, but yeah, that. How old is Cloud? 3. What if you are considering getting a service dog but do not have a doctor to give you suggestions, or whether or not you would benefit from one? Well, it's nice to talk to a doctor about one, about your conditions. If you're not able to directly, then you should make sure at least you should get a diagnosis of a disability, because you need a diagnosis for a disability to have a service dog. You can't just assume, oh, I have panic disorder, so I qualify for a service dog. Like, no, you can't do that. You have to have it written down on a form from a doctor saying that you have this kind of disabilities. What is the weirdest thing Cloud has ever done? What is the weirdest thing someone has done to Cloud? Oh, and here's a virtual high five. Well, the weirdest thing Cloud has ever done is everything she's done, because she's just weird. And then the weirdest thing that someone has done to Cloud, nobody's done anything to Cloud, because I would hurt them, so nothing. What would be best to entertain your dog while camping if your dog has separation anxiety? I would try to bring lots of toys, maybe a bone for something for them to chew on, maybe a Kong, fill it up with peanut butter inside of it. I'm not really sure because I've never really dealt with a dog that has separation anxiety before. Number 1, what did you say when people pet Cloud? Please do not pet her. She is working, and it is a misdemeanor to pet a dog without permission, and then they automatically are like, whoa, I don't want a felony, so they back up. What encouraged you to start doing YouTube? Well, I watched YouTube basically my whole life. And like I said, this isn't the first YouTube that I've ever had. I've had multiple other ones. I don't know, YouTube has just become a part of me. I love video editing, I love recording, I love talking to a camera. I like to entertain other people. I like to create something. Number 3, what did you teach Cloud first? Cloud, her first ever trick was sit. Number 4, when did you decide you wanted Cloud to be a service dog? I think I answered that previously in other questions, questions, so I hope that answered for you. Not SD related questions, but what is your favorite show? My favorite show is Riverdale. What is your favorite store to shop in? Probably Walmart, just because it's like, has almost everything, I guess. What kind of music do you like, and what's your favorite band? I don't have a favorite band, and I don't have a favorite singer. I do like EDM music, and if you don't know what that is, I would look it up. What are your hobbies? YouTube and photography. SD related questions. Weirdest encounter with Cloud, for example, humans barking at her and stuff like that. I think I answered that previously, which was when somebody asked me to breed. That was the weirdest that I've ever gotten. Where is Cloud's vest from? Cloud's vest, it was made from a Instagram company. They're also on Facebook too. They're called Scoobies and Scrappies, and I will link them down below if you want to check them out. Why you chose Cloud to be your service dog? I chose Cloud to be my service dog because she already helps me so much with just being at home with a lot of my with my disabilities, not a lot of my disabilities, with my disabilities. She's already helped me so much at home, and I just thought that, I mean, she's just the main reason that helps me. She's the main thing that helps me. So why not have her help me even more? So, and it's been very difficult for me to leave the house. So with her being by my side, I feel like I have so much more freedom. So was Cloud growing up as a service dog? No, she became a service dog at 3 years old. Do you take Cloud everywhere, or are there some places you don't take her? I take Cloud everywhere with me, but the main reason is to work on her stranger issues and to get her more comfortable in certain places. Any tips for new handlers? Be ready for the general public. If you have social anxiety, I don't exactly recommend a service dog for you. If that's the main reason you're getting a service dog for is social anxiety, I don't recommend that, because there's going to be a lot of people that talk to you because of the dog. There's going to be a lot of people that come up to you asking you where you got your dog, what program you got your dog from, even though you didn't get your dog from a program. They assume that every dog is from a program. There's going to be a lot of employees that are going to ask you questions. So if you don't like talking to strangers or have social anxiety, I don't recommend a service dog for you if that's the only reason you're getting a dog for. For new handlers, I recommend getting a set of words out, like get a line out. You're gonna say if employee comes up to you and tells you that you can't have your dog in the store, I do recommend making sure that you have your ADA laws down, like you remember them by heart, because you need to be able to defend yourself, and you need to make sure that you get all the right information. So you need to remember lines, like write down lines of a response to that kind of situation. And the same thing with other people. If people come up and try to pet your dog, I recommend writing down lines of what to tell that person, and make sure it's just easier for you to have them memorized of what you're going to say in that situation. Now, also be prepared for your dog, to have your dog by you at all times. So you do need to make sure that you have all the supplies and gear that you need for your dog, such as a water bowl, a vest, if it's hot out and they're going to lay in the grass or something like that, maybe bring a towel or a blanket for them to lay on, maybe, or just like supplies like that. And make sure you keep your dog's health at perfect. So that's just mainly what I can think of right now, but there's obviously other ones. What other breeds would you like to own? My other breeds that I would generally just like to own, not as service dogs, but just as dogs in general. My second favorite dog besides the Husky is German Shepherd. I would love to own a German Shepherd. When you got Cloud, was she meant to be a service dog, or later did you decide to make her one? Later, when she was 3. How are you in Cloud? We're good. How old are you in Cloud? I am 17 and Cloud is 21 years old. I know Cloud is dog friendly, but what breed does she not like as much? Please answer. I would be super happy. I've never noticed a typical breed that she does not like. I don't think she really likes little dogs too much, but she does like big dogs a little bit more. Great idea. What dog training tools will you plan to use to introduce leash pressure work? Head harness, prong collar, flat collar, slip lead. I recommend prong collars. That's mostly what I use, as long as it's used correctly and on the right part of the neck. Also, I do like head harnesses. It didn't work out the best for me in Cloud, but head harnesses are really nice. It's just what works best with you and your dog. Any tips for winter when having a service dog? It depends on your breed. If you have a Husky, there's not really much getting ready for, because they're already ready for the breed or the winter. But if you have a dog that has short hair, I would recommend getting them a little bit warmer coats, making sure that you keep the dog warm. And also I would make sure to get paw moisture so their paw pads don't crack. So, what is your favorite thing to do in your free time, and do you practice any of the arts? Sleep. I used to draw. I don't really draw anymore. That's the answer. I don't really do any of that kind of stuff. Number 1, what is your opinion on emotional support animal, people letting them in stores? I think that emotional support animals shouldn't actually really be a thing, honestly, because it's just causing problems. It's not helping in any kind of way. People are just thinking that they can just go into the stores. They're the same thing as service dogs when they aren't the same thing as service dogs. Emotional support animals don't have public access. So in my opinion, I think they really shouldn't exist, and people need to stop taking them into stores. It is really nice that they can go on planes with us, but in housing and stuff like that, like that's the only thing. And honestly, I think that if they're gonna make it a real thing, they need to bring it to people's attention a little bit more, the difference between them. So, and businesses as well. Number 2, how old was Cloud when she started training? 3. 3, did you initially get Cloud to be your service dog? No. I got her as a pet. 4, why did you choose a Husky? I didn't really choose a Husky. She was a given to me. But I have always loved Huskies ever since I was a little girl, so they've always been my favorite breed, and I literally idoled them. Tips on training a Husky for a service dog. I know they are pretty stubborn dogs. Sorry, Cloud. Love your channel. Thank you. Also, sorry if you hear that in the background. I'm pretty sure you do because it's loud. Okay, so Huskies are very difficult to train, and I will make a whole different video about Huskies being service dogs. If you haven't already, you can also check out Lexi's channel, the Siberian Service Dog. She has made a video about Huskies being service dogs. I will as well, but it's probably gonna be a while before I do. Patience is key. Was Cloud owner trained or program trained? She is owner trained. How long has Cloud been a service dog? Since she was 3, so about 7 months, about 7 months, almost a year now. How did you come up with her name? The dots on her forehead. She's looking at a ball that's rolling down the street right now, but the dots on her forehead, that's how I got her name. Alright guys, well that was all of your guys' questions. I answered all of them. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Later.